Hello, everyone. I want to start off from quoting our guest, one of my favorite songs of his, off "Came So Far" off of "From the East Side with Love" with Katana.
Yeah.
The bar was like, "I feel my reason on this earth is to help others build," and I feel like that's what you are doing. You are embodying, and we have the pleasure of him being here today. The Lobo Way, the TCD
Yes, sir.
CEO, the leader of the Wolf Pack, Mr. LJame. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me on, man. I know, since that post, you reached out and you were like, "Yo, let's put something together," and I appreciate you and all of the people who reached out, and now we're here. So
We're here.
excited, excited.
Nice, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Shit, we're just coming off of Coldwater 2-year anniversary was going on yesterday, so I'm a little bit tired. I was outside with the guys,
Yeah.
but excited, man. Excited to be here.
Shout out Coldwater. Shout out Jubo.
Hell yeah.
Come on now. Okay, diving straight into it. So your progression has been on display from, lowriders and Eastsiders and Teal 64 to now, dropping last year's projects you had from the East Side with Love, and then you dropped your project East to East with Scando, right?
Yeah.
That versatility and that growth is there, right? So just like speaking on that progression from, early on, because you've been rapping for like a decade now.
Yeah.
About that, like what specifically sparked that growth from where you were back then to 2023?
Yeah, man. So I started rapping in 2014 when I was in high school. And, I had said this on the other podcast, but I had came into the game kind of rapping with legends now. I came in rapping with this dude named Isaac Sandoval and a dude named Tariq. And they're known as the Peachtree Rascals now. And so early on, I knew I was around talented guys. I knew I had talent. I knew the talent maybe wasn't all the way polished and formed yet, but there was definitely a lot of potential there. And coming from, we were doing all types of music. We were making underground, singing, Peachtree, they kind of went the more pop route. We were doing kind of some pop, but I feel like that early versatility of just kind of making everything kind of helped me find my own sound as I started progressing. After they kind of went on and did the Peachtree Rascals, I was, working around with different groups here in San Jose. Again, just trying out different sounds. I actually started this moniker. It went by, I was Night Wolf before I was El Lobo.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
even like the transitions into El Lobo and becoming this version of LJame, it was a lot of phases and a lot of creating this. I knew that's how I wanted to stand out from other artists. Every artist has talent. Every artist has potential, but do they have like the full package? Right?
Yeah.
Is it the image? Is it the energy? Is it the movement that's kind of surrounding them? And I feel like Night Wolf, that was a project I had released, and that was like a moniker I was going under, and I felt the energy. I felt the embodiment of a wolf, and a wolf always being symbolic to me. Just growing up, my pops being Yaqui, Native American, like a wolf has always been symbolic to myself and the journey. But once I got that moniker of like Night Wolf, I felt that just like the presence starting to grow. But it wasn't all the way there yet. It wasn't all the way there yet. Something ended up happening with those guys. To be completely honest, we had a little falling out, and they had actually kept all my music. I had made 3 albums with those guys, and the guy I was working with, he was the main engineer and producer, and we had a little falling out, and he basically was like, fuck you, I'm keeping all this music. So it was a hard pill for me to swallow. Like, damn, bro, I just recorded 60 songs, gave y'all 3 albums of work, and I'm not going to see any of it. That was tough for me to walk away from, but I knew that the next phase of what I was going to do, it had to be huge. I got a little taste of it, right, by working with those guys, but that's when the transition into El Lobo formed, and that was 4 years ago, actually February 25th, a couple of days ago, a week ago, was the 4-year anniversary of El Lobo. So yeah, man, it's been a journey, you know what I'm saying? Just from 2014, those trials and tribulations, even before I hit El Lobo, right? That moniker, to where now that I feel like just fully represents myself, the movement, feeling like that boy who's crying wolf out here for so many years, like, yo, I'm dope, like my shit, yo, I got, like, you know what I'm saying, feeling like that for so long, and then just becoming like showing up as the wolf, like, yo, I'm here. I told you, I've been telling you, you know what I'm saying, but just not in a boastful way either, not in a bitter way either, because I've had people who didn't believe in me back then who are now fans, and you know, I shake their hand, and I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, you know, maybe I didn't have it or I didn't fit their type at that, but that just again goes to show the growth. It makes me proud. It does, because it's a reminder, like, damn, bro, I've grown, and I've grown into something that now this person likes. And I guess it's a reminder of growth. I don't look at it as like, oh, you. I kind of turn it back more internally, like, yo, like I've grown. I've grown. That shows growth.
It does. That inward battle. It's self-belief.
Yeah.
You got to believe in yourself first before, you know, others start hopping on board. They won't see it until you make it happen.
Facts.
And it's a beautiful thing to see. That's awesome, man. So, like, just speaking on those, you know, from that journey, and right then, you know, you've brought an example of a setback there, and there's other examples of setbacks, but what have those setbacks done for you to help catapult you into this, you know, riding that momentum into where you are right now?
Man, I think like failure is the path to success. So like I've failed a lot of times, man. I've lost a lot of times, and I've always been like, I hate it, but like I always have to learn things the hard way, you know. And sometimes, like, you know, my mom told me that, you know what I'm saying, and it's just kind of stuck with me. But it's true, you know. I learn things the hard way, but I don't make the same mistake twice, you know. And I feel like there's been a lot of musical obstacles, real life obstacles, and I guess the main thing is, like, you know, as cliche as it sounds, is never quitting, you know. And like, easier said than done. You know, way easier said than done, because you could have multiple things happen to you at one time, and you're like, damn, this is it. These are the things that are going to take me out. And, you know, I've been, you know, even before we got into this space in 2021, December 21st, 2021 is when we signed the lease to this space. That year before, or a couple months before, I was on the fence about just quitting music and quitting everything, just stop doing everything, because I felt really burnt out by it. You know, at that point I had been doing music, and, you know, I had been doing entrepreneurship already. I used to do like fashion markets and concerts, and, you know, like a promotion agency, right? And, you know, my last concert that I had thrown had completely, like, you know, it was a setback. It was a major loss. Something had happened at the event. We had to kick everybody out. It was just, you know, it was a lot. And like, to plan something like that, and then, you know, kind of try to do something for the community, and the community kind of let you down. It was just, it was a lot. And I'm just thankful for the people who were around me at that time. Shout out to Coach Anthony, who owns the Grove, the fitness center. He was one of the guys that really, you know, talked me up and was like, nah, you got to keep doing this. But he also said something that resonated with me, which was, you know, if you're going to do it, do it.
Do it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, if, you know, no complaints, this shit is going to happen, and you're going to get more obstacles and more. But if you're doing this, choose to do it and give it your all. And, you know, that day I literally decided. You hear like a lot of these people, that I decided moment, but I knew coming into this business, it was going to take that. Like, it was going to take everything from me. I work a 9 to 5. So I was going, you know, I start work at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I work out in Mountain View. So I wake up at 5 a.m. I get to work at 6. Sometimes I would leave work at 3, and I would, I would come straight here. So like from 4 to, sometimes we'd leave here at like 1 a.m. I'd be in here painting, renovating, And this place was a dump, bro. Like we had to do a lot of work. So it was like, you know, it was really powering through that. But I felt like going back to the question that you asked me about failure is like all of that failure, all of that loss motivated me to do this. Like every time I was in here, I was like, I'm not going back to that. I'm not, you know, I don't want to ever feel like that again. Yeah. And I know this was like the key to allowing me to never feel like that again. You know what I'm saying? Or to never be without resource or be without, like, I knew this was setting up for something bigger, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's just like, you know, it comes down to like, how bad do you want it? Right? You got to be willing to put in those hours and then figure it out. It may not happen overnight, but it'll happen. So, you know, you brought up some advice from your mom, from Coach Anthony, but I also know that you take a lot of game from other artists out there. I've seen you talk about like Nipsey, Sue, LaRussell, Russ, all those people.
Yeah.
What specifically about those artists? Because I see it in your work ethic. I see it in your music. I see it in you are as a human being. What specifically about those artists helped, you know, shape who you are?
I think the mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like I watch a lot of like interviews. I watch a lot of day-to-days, you know. I was watching like the LaRussells or even Russ, you know, when Russ was first coming up, like in 2014, I knew about Russ when he was dropping the Song of Days. And I think it's just that independent, even IAMSU, you know what I'm saying? IAMSU was out here in San Jose a lot. And like him and the gang would go to EVC and I remember skipping school one time and going to an HBK concert. You know what I'm saying? Like it was those guys because they were like not only independent, but I think their mindset towards the game and like bringing their own unique, authentic taste to the game, you know, their own stamp to it, and being independent and doing it like, you know, fuck a label, fuck all y'all, we gonna do it our way. And that resonated with me too, because I was never like, you know, I wasn't never looked at from no labels or management or none of that, you know, like I've always felt like the underdog, you know, and I felt like those guys had that same underdog vibe to them, just being an independent artist, right? And they stood out, man, and they were able to take it to that mainstream level, you know, like, fuck, bro, IAMSU and Sage the Gemini had, you know, Justin Bieber hop on the fucking Red Nose, Gas Pedal remix, you know what I'm saying? That song was, like, everywhere, so, like, to see them, what they did on a mainstream level, right? And then now LaRussell, you know, obviously being an outside in, I'm not in on that camp, but knowing Tope and, you know, him directly in that camp, I feel like maybe I was a little fly on the wall, you know, just from the game he would tell me. It's been remarkable to see what he's been able to do. And, you know, it gives me that, like, not in a like boastful, but like if he could do it, I could do it.
Exactly. Which he wants us to know.
And I think that empowerment is key. And that's what I love about LaRussell too, is the empowerment, and something I share too, bro. Like, it's feeding confidence, bro. It's selling confidence. That's the what I've learned through this whole thing. That's the most important thing that you can instill in other artists, is the confidence. It's the confidence, bro. I've seen artists come to the open mics that we throw, very first one, be shy as fuck, be like, you know, and then now they're coming, they look like seasoned veterans. You know what I'm saying? But it's that confidence that's instilled. It's like you hit the stage first, but by that fifth, fourth time, I'm feeling myself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something I've seen those guys do, and now that I'm being able to do, you know, that's kind of always something that maybe I wasn't able to do it on a grandiose level like now, right, with the studio and giving that resource. But I've always tried to big up people, like show my love, show appreciation, like, bro, you're dope, like, or this and that, or tell them what I think is dope about them. And I think that resonates with people, right?
Definitely, because there's a space for everyone. Everyone can win. There's a lot of competition, or like, oh, blah blah blah, I have to be the one. No, there's a space for everyone, and there's a community for everyone. And it's like, you know, you brought this up, so I think that's like a perfect segue about, you know, the open mic and everything. You know, here we are here today. Speak about this. How did the Coterie Den come up?
Yeah, man. I mean, this was like an idea that I had with, you know, my business partner at the time, and we were doing business meetings from his car in my hood in the East, bro, off a Wi-Fi hotspot. at the library, bro. You know, we took the hotspot library, and me and him would be in his car, parked up on a like a hood ass street in on the east side, hella crackheads outside, and we'd be like working, bro. And we were literally like working, bro. Like he would edit photos, right? I would send out emails, set up like treatments for videos, or like what my next moves are, you know. And we knew like, all right, this is getting to, we need a space, you know, because I had, you know, I was starting to get some motion myself too. So I was like, I know I had these guys like Tope and these other bigger artists. Like I need to bring them to San Jose to just experience the culture, work, and a safe space to work, right? And, you know, my business partner had came across this space on Craigslist, right? And this was also going on during the time when I was, you know, I didn't want to do this shit no more too. I had just got my, you know, more personal. I don't want to get into the full detail, but I had gotten into some personal legal issues. So like for a long time, I couldn't even get employment, bro, anywhere. Damn. Because of some legal issues. You know what I'm saying? So I had finally like got my record expunged, and like I was able to get work again. I had finally got my job, and like that's when I was just like, you know what, like I just want to, you know, work on me and just be out the man and just cool it. But again, I'm glad to those people who kind of like spoke me out of it, that my business partner had this place. We came and talked to the landlord, gave him exactly what we wanted to do. I forgot what he was like trying to market this place as, or like, I think it was like on Craigslist it said hookah bar or something like that, right? So I was like, bro, if this guy want to do a hookah bar, and like I was like, bro, if we come to him with this, and we've been had it, and that's the thing too, like me and my business partner had a business plan for a studio already for 2 years before we got in here. So when we came with a whole business plan, a literal business plan to this guy. And I feel like we're a little like over, because this guy was like, damn, these motherfuckers are serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're like, you know, like younger at the time, right? I was like 25 or 20 something, right? And he's just like kind of blown away. He's like, yeah, all right, let's do this, you know? And, you know, shout out to that guy. Cause like, you know, he took a chance on us, you know, two young men up in here, have no business experience, and gave us, you know, the keys. We signed the lease, and, you know, we've been building ever since. So that, you know, just a little bit out of necessity, a little bit out of, we were already working towards that way too. You know what I'm saying? That was already kind of like, we had put it in motion 2 years before the opportunity even came. And that's another thing. That's why I mentioned having that business plan 2 years before we even got into this space. You know what I'm saying? So like your actions, if you want to get somewhere, you got to start doing the actions now. You know, start planting those seeds now. It's like, all right, I want to have my own clothing line. Do you have like any, like just even sketches of like what a possible logo, it starts somewhere, right? Then you start collecting all this data. And then when the opportunity presents itself, now you know, the old right cliche, stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Yep.
Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And this opportunity, we were already ready. The opportunity presented itself, and we stepped up to the plate.
Ooh. So I know you like to call it a creative gym, right?
Yeah.
There's so much. Speak about that. Speak what the Coterie Den brings to the table.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, if you're a photographer, obviously you could go outside and just get your reps in anywhere, you know. We also have that, right, with all the backdrops and all of the creative. We have, shout out to Bryan Reed. He's our resident artist and does some graphic design work for us as well. But he's also now building some sets for us. So we're about to have like 3, 4, I want to get to 5 pre-built sets to where photographers, videographers could come in here and just start playing around, just like set up, start shooting, you know. So allowing space for that, for the photographers, videographers. If you're a recording artist, you have the studio in there, a fully sound treated studio, professional audio engineer with Drosky, and even these open mics, these events that we have like for the community, giving more opportunity for artists to network, which I think is key too as an artist. If you're not out there networking, how are you getting your stuff, you know, seen, heard? obviously, you know, social media is a huge tool,
Mhm.
but it's not the only tool
Yeah.
we should be utilizing. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like just as much as you see LaRussell online, you see him outside too. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the thing. It's like I wanted to be able to do that too, like and push that too,
Mhm.
not just say it, but give artists that resource, not just tell them like, well, you need to be networking. Well, where the hell do I go? Where do I go to network? Well,
Yeah.
let me set up these events so we can get all these like-minded individuals together. So just a gym in that way too. And it's like, you know, the resources are here too in 2024. There's really, you know, I come from an era in San Jose where there was very minimal resources for upcoming artists.
Mhm.
Now I feel like if you're an upcoming artist in the city, man, take full advantage of all of these resources that are here. You know, there's no reason now that we don't have not just one, multiple popping artists out of San Jose.
Mhm.
I don't even want to say the most popping artists, like the multiple popping artists out of San Jose. You know, like there's no reason why, and I think there are. We have some, we have some already fire talent coming out. So you know, and I think that narrative is shifting. That mindset is shifting too, because like, you know, for a while there, it was like everybody was saying, you know, San Jose doesn't get the love or none, da da da, San Jose, da da da. I personally haven't heard that in a while, and I don't think it's true anymore. It's literally not true in 2024. It's not true.
Not true. Come on now. Yeah. And, you know, we've been blessed to, you know, bear the fruits of your labor. And thank you for the opportunity that you brought in us, and the things that we were able to connect to, and everything started here. And it's just like the people that we're meeting and all that. But going back to the TCD team, you know, you brought up Isandro, you brought up Bryan. Speak about how did you meet the super talented artist of Isandro, the engineer, right? House engineer of this place. That dude is crazy.
Man, shout out to Joski. I mean, my guy's a workhorse. He's a GOAT. Outside of just his audio engineer, my guy's an amazingly talented artist. And I've learned a lot, and he's pushed me to better myself as an artist and push boundaries and taking my sound to that next level. So I definitely appreciate my guy. He's been a huge, if not one of the main reasons why the Coterie Den is where it's at today. But just like Isandro and all of the guys that kind of work for us, it's really attraction. It's really, and when I say that, it's like the energy, you know, because we have putting out internship posts, and you know, I've reached out to certain people, but like all of these guys have just naturally been organically coming in. Joe tapped in via, you know, I think it was Instagram, because we were giving away some foam, you know, and like then we just started chopping it up, and you know, it's kind of history from there. You know, came in here and just started putting in work too, and you know, same thing with Bryan. Since the day he came in, started putting in work. Wyatt, who runs our website and a graphic designer, this kid would show up to the block like on events at Coldwater in 2022, I think, like early, and like just be around, just come hang out. Like would show up and just like hang around. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like all of us owners are talking, because he would go to Headliners, he'd go to Kukui, he'd go Coldwater, and we were just opening up, just getting started, right? And, you know, I remember Jason told me one day, he's like, hey, you know that kid Wyatt? You know that kid? I was like, yeah, like, you know, he's Mexican, he's very light-skinned, you know, Güerito. I was like, yeah, you know, Güerito, like, and he's like, yeah, he's very dope, graphic designer, kid hungry, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I don't really see how I could use him, but like, I know you guys got a studio, right? Like, how, you know, introduce him there. He started coming over here, man, and like, same thing, just started getting to work, and came in and seen the value of what was going on, and seeing that kid develop now as a web designer, as a brand designer. And him being so young, bro, he is a kid, bro.
Is he?
Like, damn near 21 younger, you know what I'm saying? Like, and as for a lot of these guys, and that's why I'm saying I'm thankful to house the next generation, this next generation of San Jose talent, you know? That's exciting to me. You know, to be able to do my part and make my stamp. But now, like, let's get the newer generation in here too, because like I know a lot of like, you know, like these older cats too, man, they trying to hold on and gatekeep and like, bro, there's enough room for all of us. And you know, you ask anybody, bro, I've never held my resources. I've never ever tried to gatekeep anybody. Whatever opportunities I have, we have. And you know, I've said this a couple times, but you know, I feel like we're able to be the glue because you know we're sitting in buffet. I don't got to steal off your plate. I know how to get my own, and I have enough so I could fill up your plate too. Without feeling bitter, without, you know, because I used to be the type of guy too to pour into everybody's cup, look back, none for me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really step back and be like, yo, I gotta make sure this cup is filled before I could pour anywhere. And when you focus on that, you come to find out, that you could start pouring into a lot of cups, you know, once you fill up this one. So you know, kind of just really, I guess going back to the question too, when I filled up this cup, the right people started to attract too. So like these guys, Drew, Wyatt, Bryan, shout out to Young Mac. He's an intern here too, audio engineer. Danny, you know, Danny's a kid too, photographer, you know what I'm saying? And Lovey and Alex Nobody, these other photographers that work with us. And, you know, it's attracting and you know, just attracting the right energy. We've had other like interns and people who have come in here and, you know, it just doesn't work out, you know, and it's not a thing to where we're like ever like, yo, I don't think it's going to work out. It kind of like they come in and see it and they're like, okay, this may be, you know, way more serious than I anticipated. You know what I'm saying? Because like at the same time, like as much as like fun and play we have in here, everybody's working. You know, like everybody's working. Like we take our craft seriously. And like, you know, obviously with creative arts, it's a hobby for many people, and rightfully so. You know, I don't want to take that experience or enjoyment away from anybody, but this is a creative career for us. So there is a seriousness, professionalism, and that we take to this. And I appreciate that the guys who work with me, they take that seriously too. So I think building a business culture around that and with those guys, it kind of weaves out 10 of the people who aren't serious, you know, or taking their craft seriously. So I'd say in a sense, in building a team and maintaining, like naturally people have just kind of weaved themselves off because they understand like, dang, these guys are really serious. I may not be that serious about it, but I don't want to deteriorate or, you know what I'm saying? Like distract or pull away from what they have going on. And it's a mutual respect, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's very important to have a team. I can't do what I do without Mr. Keys on the camera right there.
Hell yeah.
Without Janelle, you know, it's not possible without them. So like, it takes a village. It really does.
Hell yeah.
Building something you could get, you know, what is the saying? If you want to do it solo, you could get fast, or you could go fast in the car solo. But then if you want to go far, you need other people with you. So it really does. But I want to talk about, you know, you talk about, you know, filling your own cup. And it's something I struggle with, you know, having to always pour into other people's cup and mine's, you know, is empty. And it's like, okay, I'm kind of like burnt out. What do you do outside of, you know, just always business or creatively that gets you, you know, out your funk? I know you talked about your health and fitness, you know, you can talk about that, the Lobo way and all that.
Hell yeah. I mean, definitely like working out, you know, has been a release for me as well. Like I'm the type person, I'm in the gym, no headphones. I'm that
really?
I'm that dude. I'm that dude. I'm that motivated though. Like I'm being dead ass. Like, you know, it's how I don't really like, you know, like things in my ears or like, you know what I'm saying? Like the earbuds or whatever. But I'm really that motivated, bro. You know, so I'll be in there, obviously gym. I do yoga as well, but like I'll be getting my stretch on, you know, do some yoga, do some meditation. One thing I recently, because I'm the type of dude, I'm 100% all the time, you know, and like sometimes, you know, some of my team had to tell me like, yo, relax, dog. And like I push this, like, you know, let's all be at 100. Let's all be at 100, which is, you know, it's good. It definitely like keeps the team motivated, but at the same time, it's unrealistic. You cannot be at 100% all the time. It's unrealistic.
It's not sustainable.
How am I going to put unrealistic expectations on myself and other people and not expect, you know, to fail? Like, I'm setting myself up to be disappointed in a little bit, right? Like, because it's like the days where I'm not at 100%, I'm viewing that as like, damn, like, it's not, but like, damn, if you went to the gym and still gave it 90%, you're all right, bro. You're all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's about like, I'm learning like how to maximize opportunities, maximize days, maximize without burning out too, bro. Yeah. Sometimes you need to sit down and do nothing, bro. And that's okay. Sit down and do nothing, or sit down and talk to your homie for 30 minutes, or make your phone calls, or this and that, or mindlessly, you know, scroll through some whatever. Like, I think those breaks are necessary too. And as a hustler, and as somebody who's just like so work, and I'm talking to my hustlers because I know, you know, it's like when you have an off moment, you feel guilty, bro. And like, it's okay, bro, to like take your time, to not do something, not be on 10 all the time. Like, really make that time for yourself. You know, because that's just as important as going 100% all the time. You got to recharge your battery. You got to refill your cup. You have to make time for yourself to do that.
Important, very important.
And that's what I'm saying too. It's like, you know, you kind of find like working out for me has been that, right? But somebody else, it may be just doing nothing. You know, it may be reading a book. It may be, I'm going to go do it. Who knows, right? But I think there's something we could all, like, there's something to release from our pressure, from our daily, that everybody can do.
Yeah. And, you know, for people out there, just try it. You have to try it. If you haven't figured it out yet, figure it out.
Never been fishing, go fishing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Never did yoga, don't believe in that shit. Like, bro, just try it. You know, you don't have to, like, you know, just try it. I love how you said that. I believe in that too.
100%. I know, pivoting back to the music and, you know, the music world, you talked to us probably like a month ago about how you and Tope started, you know, that relationship and what you guys have cultivated, how, you know, you met him, he opened up for you when he was rapper Tope. And then, like, full circle moment, you know, he sent some beats to you, it got lost in the mix, and then it came back, and that's the opening track on the album. It's just like, that's so cool to see. Speak on, like, first of all, we'll touch on Tope first, and then I want to hear about all your other.
No, hell yeah. I mean, like, I guess just to summarize that story a little bit on camera, bro, in 2019, I had my first headline show at Brick and Mortar out there at SF. I had brought some cats from San Jose to kind of open up for me. And then the booking agent had got some local talent as well. And in that local talent was Tope. And Tope had just come from Portland, like literally, like that was the time where he just touched down in Oakland. So, you know, he was rapper Tope at the time, and, you know, I was watching him. I was like, yo, what a white boy, he nice, man. He nice though. Like, don't get it fucked up, bro. Rapper Tope is nice, bro. Like, and I remember him coming off stage, and like, I was chopping up with him. I'm like, hey, bro, you nice, man. He's like, yeah, I just got out here from Portland. I'm trying to network, da-da-da. And he was like, hey, let's link up, bro. I make beats. Like, I'm trying to get my hustle on, sell some beats. I was like, all right, for sure. So, like, you know, I headlined, I did my shit, and he was like, yo, we need to get in the booth, right? So, like, we ended up locking in. 2 weeks after that, I go to his space. At the time, I think he's, like, in this house with, like, 3 other people. Shout out Osage was in there, too. And he takes me to his room, you know what I'm saying? A little setup in the corner. And, like, he cooks up some beats for me. And I think he made me, like, 3 or 4, charged me $200 at the time. And, like, I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I knew I was going to go there, work with him, get some beats. But, you know, $200 at the time was, like, fuck, bro. Like, all right, fuck it, though. Like, I want to lock in with bro. You know, I see the talent here, and I know we can make something dope. Boom, boom. I end up going through some legal issues, bro, in that 2019, 2020 time. Obviously, COVID's going on and all that shit, too. So it's like, it's a crazy time in the world, bro. And that project, because, like, me and Tope were like, we're supposed to do the project in 2019, bro. Wow. We were supposed to, like, those are the first 4 beats to the project, you know? And, you know, I had told him I was going through some shit. Like, I'll circle back with you. Because, again, during that time, I was contemplating quitting, too. Yeah. So it was like, you know, and it's just wild, bro, you know, and, you know, 2020, 2021 comes, we're fresh off of the pandemic. I had dropped a song called Todos Unidos. If you haven't already, go check out that song. A very powerful song. And I remember Tope seeing that and him reaching out and being like, yo, G, I think it's time we circle back, you know? And at that moment, I don't know if he had already or was just starting to work with LaRussell as well. So like simultaneously when we're, you know, recording from the East Side with Love, they're also recording Marlin 7.
Yeah.
So I remember like there'd be sessions where Tope would go from here to Vallejo, right? And then he would come back for a session and he's like, bro, this guy LaRussell is next level. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like that video where they're doing in the back of the truck and he's rapping, right?
Yeah.
I remember the day Tope came back from that, and that's when he was like, yeah, LaRussell, bro, this guy's breathing, like this guy's rapping any and everywhere and just killing shit. And I was like, that's when I really like, you know, really started to lock in on his movement too. Cause like, you know, Tope would come over here and just like, you know, tell me about it and da-da-da. And he's like, yo, study this guy. Like, I see a lot of similarity in y'all, like da-da-da. And like, you know, I that's how I became like the final one with that movement. That's what I was saying. Seeing that from like the outside and over the inside, it gives a lot of fucking perspective. And it makes me even that much more hungrier. Like, yo, this guy is really doing this shit, like, and doing it at a high fucking level and calling out the industry and setting like a way more bigger path for independent artists. Cause I feel like, you know, what LaRussell has been doing, it's been going on for a long time here in the Bay Area. He just really put it on the forefront in mainstream like media, what's really going on. But you have to like the E40s, the Too Shorts, like, like that, they've been doing that, you know, but he's been able to be very transparent with it and put it on that mainstream level and call out the industry. So.
And I think that goes hand in hand with what you're doing. He's telling people you don't have to move to LA, you don't have to move to New York. You can do it from your backyard. You can do it from your place. And you're saying that here with San Jose. You don't need to move out to, you know, gain resources. You build that from the ground up. And that certain infrastructure is very important, right? And it's just like, man, you build that, you're showing people it's possible. You know, you see artists out there, you know, popping off from like the bedroom, just posting videos, making beats and all that. It's just, there's so many different ways to gain what you want to gain, right? The path is different for everyone. And what he's been able to show, not only like artists, but just creatives in general, or just human beings, right? You could just be yourself. And then, you know, you got to navigate life through the ups and downs. And then there's certain deals that, you know, not necessarily is a good deal. So it doesn't mean you have to take it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, speaking of that, like doing deals, or like, let's say back to this investing, what makes something the right deal? Like, why should you invest in this thing? I
mean, first of all, like obviously we live in a society. I live here in the Bay Area. I live in San Jose, the Silicon Valley. This is the most expensive area in California, in the world, bro. Like in the world. So there has to be a level of like it making sense financially. You know, like I knew that this, obviously my intentions were not to like, hey, I'm gonna get hella money by doing this. I knew this was a real service that was needed. You know, like supply and demand, right? There's a high demand for creative resources and a place for creative resources. I knew that I could be the supplier for that, right? And so I think to a certain level, like deals and, you know, stuff like that, it has to financially make sense, but also just has to line up with your agenda and your intentions and what you're passionate about, right? And that's why I think like in 2024, there's no way people should be getting fucked over by deals anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely think there's more talent on the internet than there is in these labels anyways. So it's like these labels need to be nice to the independent artists now. They need to be a place of resource because there's hella talent. And it's like, it's not only in the labels anymore. It's accessible via YouTube, off a YouTube channel, you know? So I think deals in the music sphere like that, there's no way people should still be getting effed over kind of in that way. deals, but even like branding deals too. Like I've always advocated for artists to not only get income streams through streams, but also how can you make your brand create other streams for you, right? Collabs, advertisement, right? I've done work with the San Jose Earthquakes. I've done work with headliners. I've done work with other notable clothing brands here in the Bay Area. And those are little like brand ambassador deals and little bags, right? That, you know, you get off of your brand of being an artist, of being, and again, going back to the package, you know, a lot of people have talent, but do they have that full package, right? Can they put it all together? The business, the music, the image, right? Like, can they put it all together? And I think that's what separates.
Right.
But yeah, I think as far as deals, bro, those are the main things. Like financially, it has to make sense. Like it has to line up with your agenda and your beliefs, right? And it's gotta propel you too. It's gotta benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Like in a sense to where it's gonna get you another step closer to your goal, right?
Important, yeah, very important. Speak about like what you've learned, not only from. So I know you've spoke about other artists and other individuals. What have you learned from, let's say, Nef, Scando, Stunnaman, Drew Banga, all those people?
Yeah, bro.
They're all crazy.
Nah, yeah, man. Too, and before I even dropped, shout out Drew Banga, man. Like before I dropped that project with Tope, I dropped a project with Drew Banga. Dos Lobos, you know what I'm saying? My God, really, like we knocked out that in one session, bro. Like he made 4 beats for me. I think 5 beats. I still got another beat to tell, you know what I'm saying? Made a couple beats for me. We ended up recording those, and yeah, you know, we got one of my hits, Slide, off of there, and that was another, like, I feel like that was kind of like the introduction to like what was setting up, like From the East Side with Love, East to the East. That was like, damn, all right, because Drew Banga is a factor out here too, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate him like really fucking with me, and like, you know, he had come down to San Jose too, and I popped up on him at Fuse, and we was turning up, and you know, he knows what's good with San Jose. So shout out Drew Banga, but that was like the introduction to like LJames and like, like me really fucking with the Bay and these bigger artists and shit like that. But what I've learned from them is really like to have fun with the shit and to continue to just to be me, bro. Because they're so good at being them. You know, that's what's inspiring. I think, you know, even with Tope, even with these guys, Stunnaman, right? Like these guys are just being them, bro. That's what it is. Like, you know, and I try and do the same thing. Like I'm just being me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's what we all respect about each other. And it's like, yo, yes, we're good musically talented, all musically inclined, but sometimes it's not even about that, bro. Like we'll kick it all day, bro, and it's like we're not even in the studio, you know what I'm saying? We just bullshit having a good time, you know what I'm saying? And like it's just that's really what I learned from them, bro, is just be yourself and have fun doing this shit too. And that's what kind of creates longevity.
It's true. That's awesome. Because you're being you. You can't, if you're faking something, it's not sustainable. It's gonna get exposed. It's not gonna last. But then, as long as you're staying true to yourself, it's effortless.
Right.
Effortless, man. So for you, as a, you know, you do so many things as a multi-discipline artist, individual, entrepreneur. What makes you feel fulfilled?
I think it truly is helping other people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's empowering other people. That's why I've been so like away from my own music, bro, because I genuinely love empowering and getting these other artists started and getting their music out there and getting their, you know, working with Dro and ESBZ and like seeing their growth, and these guys from the open mics, right? 3D Dev, JohnJohn, and what he's done with Say Something, you know, that whole collective being inspired by what's going on here, you know. And shout out to those guys, because they'll tell you straight up every time they've come in here and they've asked me, like, you know, questions about how to start this. I've always been a resource. I've always shared with JohnJohn, like, you know, what I think, you know, he should kind of move, he should make, right? Obviously, he makes his own decisions. He's a grown-ass man, you know, but there to give him some advice or counsel, you know what I'm saying? Because I genuinely love what they got going on and the energy of that collective. And, you know, it's that's what it's really about, empowering others, man. And again, I know I have something special here too, bro. So it's like, you know, a lot of people would be like, oh, if I feed it to him, like, is he gonna take away from what's going on, right? Like, and it's like, I feel like it only grows it.
It only grows.
It only grows it, man, because it's like, if they grow, it's obviously, you know, like it's a simultaneous thing. It's like a tree, bro. And I think that's what we're kind of creating, like a branch, right? The tree overalls are just gonna get bigger, right? If this branch gets bigger, right? So I think that's what brings me fulfillment, is truly empowering other people. And like, you know, obviously I've had success with records. I've been able to go on tour, and, you know, I love music, and I haven't stopped recording music. You know, I make a song every day, you know, because I truly love this music shit. But I think my intentions of like dropping music to be like the guy, you know, like the best artist, you know, I consider myself, I'm the greatest rapper alive, right? But that's just how I feel. And I feel like every artist should feel like that, you know, and I'm not dropping other music, you know, a blog site could put me first, like this and that, or like keep up with people. I'm gonna just release music because like I really love this song. I want the people to hear it, and like, you know, get back to the art of it too. I got some videos coming out and shit like that I want the art of it to be like cherished and cared about too.
I know, because we had this conversation during one of our the flea market in January. You're saying like you have so much music and you're ready to just drop. It's time, right?
Hell yeah, bro.
So speak more about that. When you're saying, you know, you want the art, what does that mean? Is it like the rollout? Do you want just have everything lined up, like music video wise?
Yeah, so I guess it's like music video wise, and just like the rollout, and just really the movement and the energy that comes from it too. Because I feel like this new music is like the best music that I'm gonna ever put out, or that I put out so far. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm only getting better every time I touch the studio too. So I want the visuals, I want the energy, I want the movement to really encompass this energy too. Like, everything's got to be at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where we're taking it to. And obviously, when you're doing it like that, things take time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to rush it. I don't want to, like, you know, force things either. But yeah, I do want to get y'all this music as soon as possible too. And I think it's like just really having fun with it too, bro. Like, I'm in the booth now, really enjoying this music, like getting shit off one takes, you know what I'm saying? And just because that's how in love I am with it at this time. I got some freestyles and shit coming out too. I just did some shit with Any Given Bars.
Okay.
I'm excited, bro. I'm just as excited for like as y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's been a minute coming, you know what I'm saying? And I know like right now too, like is a good time, bro. It's a good time.
So as someone, you know, a master of your craft, when is it green lighted? When do you know, like, oh, because you could always work on something, right? But it's like, when is that point where it's like, oh, okay, you know, this is fine, this is not fine, this is great, it's ready to be released?
I have songs like, I got shit mixed, mastered, ready right now, you know, that I listen to every day, and like, I'll still be like, okay, I think we could do something right here. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just to bring the fullness out of the song, you know, from start to, I want them up like, okay, like, you know, ad-lib here or this and that. I want them hooked on every bar, on every sentence, on every word, you know. And I feel like that level of detail, not that I haven't put in the music before, but to this extent I haven't, you know. And I feel like it's a good thing though. It's a good thing.
So coming into 2024 with all this new music coming out, for people who want to, you know, refresh themselves about LJame, what are 3 to 5 songs you want them to like listen to?
Man,
just remember how great
the first song you should ever listen to, I'll tell people, by me, is probably Till 6'4". Like that one is that's just, that accurately depicts myself, my surroundings, and like how I truly feel. And so that's one you should directly go. And then after that, the one that really like catapulted me and shit like that is Low Riders and Eastside. And really another one just explaining my you know, environment, seeing what I seen grow up, right, with the low rider movement and low rider capital being here in my city, and not a lot of people knowing the cultura and history of, you know, Story and King and San Jose and the lowrider movement, and also that song being a part of a huge movement in the city of, you know, the repeal of cruising. Cruising for a long time was illegal. It wasn't legal here in San Jose, which was a direct discriminatory law, like straight up racist law. I've had, you know, family members get pulled over, nights in jail because of cruising and shit like that. So, you know, that song being attached to that movement, it was just, that was truly fulfilling. And then I'd say, like the third one, I would, you know, I love how you started off the interview with it. It became so far, bro. Like, because, like, I feel too, like Eastside legend Katana is on there too. You know, my homegirl has over 3 million streams on Apple Music. She is a San Jose staple icon, you know, and like, you know, she gets her flowers, and she's gonna get more of her flowers, you know, as she continues to grow in her career. But, you know, putting that song together with her was dope and really something special for the city. From the city.
It's so empowering. And, you know, not only just for, like, because I know you bring it up in your lyrics, you say, like, for the Black and brown community, but it's for everyone. And it's special. It's a great song, and you just feel like motivated and powerful. Like, dang, you know, it's gonna be a great day today listening to this.
Facts. Man, so those are the top 3 songs, I'd say, for sure.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on that, you know, that we didn't touch on? Anything else?
Man, I got a lot of new music on the way. We got a lot of events going on here at the Coterie Den. For everybody who's been supporting, you know, the movement going on so far, I appreciate y'all. You know, it has been a journey, not an easy one, but having great individuals like yourself, like Keezy, and like all of you out there, it makes this journey worth it, and it makes it, you know, makes it memorable, bro. And this is where I go to sleep, like, thankful, grateful for the day. I wake up happy. I wake up, you know, passionate about what I do. And I couldn't have said, you know, I couldn't have been able to say that without y'all. So appreciate everybody out there.
Thank you. Where can people find you? What are you?
Follow at LJame408. Follow at the Coterie Den on Instagram, IG, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube coming very soon. You know, all of that. So hop on there, man. Follow, go to the website, thecoterieden.com. Keep up with all of our events. LJames.com coming very soon, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have new music on there. I'm going to have all of my events going on. And we got so much shit coming out for 2024, y'all. Just stay with us. Events, concerts, maybe a tour. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit in motion.
That's awesome. And we just want to say, you know, we're proud of you. We want to make sure we want to give you your flowers.
Appreciate you.
You know, you're doing something very special, not only for San Jose, but for the Bay Area and just for the creatives in general, right? And we want to make sure that you hear that and you're doing something amazing. And we're happy to be a part of it. Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, man. Yee. Salute, man.
All right.
I like that, bro. That was great.
Both, man.
That was great. That was great.
We both.
That's a genuine conversation, bro.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can put cuts in that, man.
No need. And you see it. Come on now.
Let's go. Come on.
There it is. Man, that did not feel like. Man, that was a 55-minute one.
55. That's perfect.
I didn't feel like I was standing for. I was going back and forth. Man, but genuine conversation, man.
Yeah, I felt that one, bro. That was good. We
learned a lot about you, and I'm sure everybody else gonna watch this is gonna definitely get into the world of LJames. Even know a little bit about NLF too.
Yeah.
We both are well-spoken guys, and that thing came off the tongue easy.
Yeah.
It felt like it, right? I felt like
it. Felt like in front of the camera.
Yeah,
like it.
That was awesome.
I thought I had to switch batteries, but it was perfect. We're good.
Yeah.